Show, where conversation is art. Conversation is art. Conversation is art. You should chime in. Ain't no telling what to spark on the Val Show. Ain't no telling the Val Show. You know, ain't no telling where we go on the Val Show. Ain't no ceiling, cause the art of conversation is the flow. It's that creativity available when we speak, available in our homes, available in the streets. We just trying to get it sparking and take it a little deeper. Keep it casual while fireside chatting with our people. Yeah, we take it a little deeper. It get hot when we fireside chatting with our people. Cause conversation is art. Conversation is art. You should chime in. Ain't no telling what'll spark on the Val. The Val and Val Show. The Val and Val Show.
Hello.
Well, you want to bring us in so we can see one another?
What?
We're still out
Well,
there.
Valton, I can see you fine. You can't see me.
I can't see a thing.
Oh, well, let me see if I can see you on the page because I see you fine. I don't know what's going on. Y'all, Valton has been having some
Oh, don't blame it on me.
computer. You said that before we came on, so I don't know
did.
why I cannot see you. You're on. Let me take you out and bring you back in.
Let's do that.
Okay, so can you see yourself now, Valton?
Yep, I can now.
Okay.
Hello,
What's
everyone.
going on with you?
I'm not sure either. Hello, everyone. We are so glad to be with you yet one more time on the Val and Val Show. Conversation is Art is the title of our talk show, and we are extremely happy to be here and to share with you a phenomenal evening with someone
Most definitely.
that's phenomenal, and I mean completely talented from day one. A1, she is the bomb. And I must congratulate Valerie because she has been tremendous in getting our talent for us. Although Carter has been the one who started us, but Valerie has been the one who's really sealed the deal with a lot of our artists. And I thank you, Valerie, for your diligence in my absence and in my presence in getting these artists and these great people on. So I always got to give you props because you are the GOAT when it comes to.
Well, no, thank you. I'm trying to make sure I keep you out there since you're becoming a big time film and movie producer. So don't forget me. Don't forget me.
Hey, Val, you know it's not about me. You know I don't care about all that.
I know it. I know it. You're doing some phenomenal things, and we're going to share that. We're going to have a show specifically for you again, Valton, to even share what God has really blessed you to come into lately. I mean, it's phenomenal. You all are going to be simply amazed at everything that God is doing in Valton's life. But anyway, tonight we are here, honey, with the extraordinaire. Look, I was reading things about Miss Kim Scott, and I was like, wow, knowing her, but getting to read all of these things and research, and just reading all these things, you all, and just reflecting on her humility through it all is just amazing. Because sometimes, when people start blowing up, you ain't want to be in the room with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just amazing, her humility, and also all the balls she juggles, So as we're accustomed to on the Val and Val Show, Conversations Art, we'll tell you a little bit about her, but who better can tell you about themselves than the person? So that's what we'll do. But I gotta read this, gotta tell you about this. Miss Kim Scott. She was the 2021 Breakout Artist of the Year.
Yes, that's right.
She's had 4 phenomenal albums. She has Kim Scott's Block Party Radio. And y'all, in all of this, she finds time to teach and mentor some children, which is just simply amazing.
Yep.
So Kim, you just come on in.
As the old preacher would say,
welcome.
And greet us in your own way. Come in your own way. What's up, DJ Strick? I see you, boy. What's up, Floyd? Hey, baby. What's up, y'all? Come on in, Kim.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Doing
Good.
Thank
wonderful,
you.
wonderful.
Nice to see
Thank
you.
you for that introduction.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the
It's
time out of your busy schedule.
For
my
sure.
pleasure. My
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
I've
What?
seen you from afar and seen and heard your music. And as I said before we went on the air, I've known your husband for a long, long time. But sister, 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 you a bad mama. You something else, girl.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank
Love
you.
your work.
Thank you
Love your
so
work.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
And,
So
and
tell
honored.
you
us,
know,
I want to jump right in. Valerie, I'm taking
uh,
over. Oh, I'm
I
taking
see.
over. So Kim, so you were on the show with Kenny G and Eric Essence,
Yes.
right? So tell us
hmm
a little bit about that, and then Valerie, you can go back into your background stuff.
Well, that was an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
I was so honored to get that call. I remember when it happened. My husband is my manager, and he called and said, "Hey, you want to open for Kenny G?" And I said, "What? What? Like Kenny G? Kenny G? Like Songbird Kenny G?" That's not a call you expect to get every day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was just very honored that they, thought highly enough of me to open for
Hmm.
him because we know the career that he has had and the success that he has and the fans across the world. I mean, he's selling out venues all over the world.
Yeah.
But I was so honored. I played the show and found out that he actually sat and watched my show from the
Hmm.
side of the stage, and was kind enough to come up to me after the show and even compliment me. So that showed that he's a real kind-hearted artist. He's not, doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. And
Yeah.
I really appreciated that about him. But it was just a really amazing night and one that I'll never forget that moment.
Oh yeah, I know. I saw you all's picture that you took, and I was like, Kenny G, you've been looking like that all your life. I'm just
All his
literally.
life.
I'm like,
I
you
had
have not
no
aged.
idea.
Oh,
I
that's
had no
funny.
idea he was 65 because he looks like he did on the
65.
album,
Wow.
for
Yes.
Songbird.
Yeah. I
Wow.
was like,
Right.
huh?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, has this been Photoshop? Wait a minute.
Right. But you know what? Music keeps you young. And I think about that a lot. When you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel
Yeah.
like work.
Yep.
You don't feel run down, and music
Mhm.
always energizes and elevates your mood. And, so I can see how hopefully I look like that at
Yeah.
65,
Yeah.
Oh no,
Right.
so
nah, girl, you're
a
gonna look
little
better than that. You're
preservation.
gonna look better than that. You're gonna look better than that. But look, I wanted to read something specifically from your bio that really jumped out to me. Ronald Jackson, a journalist for the Smooth Jazz Ride, states artists like Kim Scott bring an exuberance to an art form long prophesied to be a thing of the past in short order by critics. However, with her, said the Pied Piper like allure, and for you all don't know about the Pied Piper, Google it, and magic of her style, you come to the conclusion that those critics couldn't be further from the truth. And I just thought that was such a compliment for you. And in case some of you all on here and hadn't watched Kim, you do have such a exuberance. Just watching you play just kind of perks me up because I can feel just your soul pouring into every note that you're blowing through that
Mm,
flute. So that right there to me was just a awesome compliment from Mr.
oh,
Jackson. So I just want to tell you kudos. That is just
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
thank
with
you so much.
everything.
Thank
You know,
you.
I
So
think
now,
I heard. I think I heard you, Valerie, mention an album called Shine.
yes.
So, what came to mind, Kim, when you were speaking about Kenny G coming up to you and sharing a word with you, I was going to say, well, he allowed you to shine. But based on what I know about your husband, the Christian man that he is, leading the household as a Christian family, you guys are shining together. And with this being Resurrection Sunday, look who's shining on you now, and your gifts are making room for you.
Amen.
Whoop.
So let me share with you
I
this.
appreciate
Keep
that.
unwrapping your gifts. keep unwrapping, because as you unwrap one layer, there's another one the Lord has for you, and another one, and another one. So you go, girl.
For
Yeah,
sure,
I
for
appreciate
sure.
that. I
Yeah,
received that. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's been good to us for sure.
for
right,
sure. And you know what I thought about and looking at you getting this 2021 breakout artist of the year, you all. Okay, you know, we've been in pandemic world for a while, but it's amazing that despite all the bad press with COVID, of course, all the deaths and everything was tragic. We're still not out of it. Even in that space of not being able to perform, God still took you and blew you up in the midst of. You know, so that's why it says he does exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ask or think. Because
right.
many
Absolutely.
artists didn't have a breakout in COVID. Some of them really struggled, but look at that. And I'm like strict. I'm like Valton, I give that to you and strict being first, putting God first
Yeah, faithful.
and everything
Yeah.
else, you have your house in order. So, with that being said, it doesn't matter what's going on in the external when you have your priorities in order.
That's right.
So, since
This is
Valta brought
true.
up shine, tell us how did shine break out in the midst of everything looking real dim?
Right. Well, I mean, you said it, we were all in quarantine and, trying to stay positive, trying to still be productive. And, my husband had just come up with this whole streaming thing. That's his new thing during the pandemic. And I thought, well, I can't play concerts. And I had a new album I was supposed to be touring at that time. All those got shut down. So I said, I'm going to do what I do, which is create.
Mm-hmm.
So I started dreaming up what I wanted the next album to be like, what was the energy of it, what was the tone
Mhm,
of it. I
mhm,
decided, who the artists that I wanted to collaborate with, and I wanted to write a lot. And that's what I did. And as I wrote or co-wrote the first song, Back Together Again, and realized that the theme was, inspiring people and giving them
Mm-hmm.
light. This was even before I had the title Shine. I was trying to
Okay.
give them light and hope because it was such a dark time. And I
yeah,
said, when, we're seeing that the pandemic is kind of behind us a little bit, that's when I'm going to release this song because people will
Okay.
want to be back together again with their friends and their family because we've been cooped up, not able to see everybody. So as we, finished writing the songs for the album, I noticed they all had that same energy, that same spirit. And by the
Yeah.
time I got to the third song that we released, which is the title track, Shine,
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had to have a title that, conveyed light.
Okay.
And I mean, it really was that simple, And
mhm,
now when I listen to the album all the way down, I'm like, man, that was the perfect title for it because you just want to smile
mhm,
the entire way through. And I wrote it, I played the whole record, but I listened to it and I still smile because it's
mhm.
just such a beautiful set of songs that you just can't help but be in a good mood by the end of the album.
Right,
Yeah, and
right.
you're right. Music does lift the spirit. I have to think about. You remember when, um,
David,
uh, yeah,
was it
David
David?
played the harp, but
The
you can be in a
harp.
bad mood and put on some music.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Don't put
yeah.
on the blues, y'all. Now that may not that may not help you out.
That'll
Choose the
that'll
right
sink you further.
genre.
That'll sink you
Right.
further. Yeah.
Yeah. But and I've always loved jazz, even when I was young and probably didn't even understand what jazz was. You know what I'm saying? Because it was always so soothing and relaxing. And and of course, we know it was a lot of people went through depression, anxiety, and everything.
Mhm.
So just listen to the right music. And let me say this, you all, it don't have to be gospel all the time because some gospel music will push you over the edge. So you better select right.
Be
So
ready
Kim,
to see Jesus.
yeah. So Kim, tell us, when did you pick up the flute, and was
I
that your
was in
first
fifth.
instrument?
It was not my first instrument. So I grew up in a musical household, and
Okay.
my mother's a retired music educator.
Hmm.
She was in the Birmingham City school system for a very long time. And my dad, so she was a pianist. My dad was a saxophonist, and they actually had a really famous band called the Dynamic Soul Machine.
Okay.
Okay.
They played all over the world. They opened for Lionel Richie, you name it. But they were on the Stax Records label. They have records and all
Ah,
that.
yeah.
But music was always playing in our household. So once the kids came along, we had to learn an instrument.
Mhm.
So I started piano. I think my mom said around 3,
Ah,
and violin. And by 5th grade, when it's time for you to choose an instrument, to join
yeah.
band,
Right.
I picked up the flute. And I was one of the few people that could actually make a sound on it. And I loved that it was dainty, and everybody else's instrument they were trying was like a tuba. I'm like, I'm not going for that. Um, but I chose that instrument, and I just really fell in love with it. And I, I just got obsessed with it. It was
Hmm.
all I wanted to do. And from that point on, I knew at some point I was going to be doing something related to that instrument and music, which is odd because you usually when you're that age, you don't have a map of your future at that point. You don't even know what your trajectory is going to be.
Right.
But from a very early age, I knew I needed to practice this instrument.
Hmm.
And that's
Okay.
what I did. I sacrificed a lot of, going outside. I didn't do that with the friends in the neighborhood. Took lessons. I went to art schools and, really made that path.
That's really cool. That is really
Yeah.
cool.
And did
So
you
did
all
you
hear
still play
that? She
flute?
didn't pray about it and put the flute under the pillow and think God was going to divinely make her
And put oil
talented.
on it?
Well, he was involved in it for sure,
Yeah.
but
Right.
Yeah.
my
Right.
mom, since she was since they were musicians, they had already instilled in us what it takes to be good. We watched them
Yeah.
practice. And when you watch really good musicians, you learn to be very diligent
Right.
Yeah.
with your time, and to have great time management, because you have only so much time to learn a piece of music before you got to perform it. You want to get good, so it was very regimented, and I just learned that really early.
Early. Well, Kim, let me ask you this. So you discovered this dainty flute at
Mm.
5. So as you went on to progress and
Fifth
decide
grade.
to
Fifth
go
grade.
into
Fifth grade.
becoming a educator, at what point did you realize, okay, this is my life? What age did it go off? This is my life now.
Well, first of all, interestingly enough, I never desired to be an educator.
You
Mm.
did?
Let me tell you how God works it out. So again, I only wanted to be my only dream was to be a performer on flute.
Okay.
I always, from day one, I wanted to play with the symphony. I grew up listening to vinyl records of the Boston Symphony in my
Okay.
mom's and dad's house, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to grow up and play in the symphony. Um, so that's what my path was. I played in orchestras, youth orchestras. I took classical lessons. I got all my degrees in classical flute and performance. Um, but along the way, something said, you know what, if you're going to be well sought out, you need to be prepared for anything.
Okay.
Mm.
So that's why I sought after the pedagogy degree, because that's the science of teaching. And I wanted to be ready to teach whatever I could teach in music. I took classes in strings. I wanted to learn how to play the viola and the cello, because you
Mm.
never know where that could lead. I took
Right.
classes in conducting in college. I didn't want to
Wow.
be a conductor, but I took those classes. And ironically, when I finished my master's and was preparing to go get a doctorate, I got a call from the Alabama School of Fine Arts.
Okay.
We have a job opening. We think you'll be perfect for it. Part of it is teaching flute, which is what you do, but you might have to conduct a little orchestra. Well, look at God.
Yeah.
Right? Because I would have never, I mean, I had no reason to take those string classes. They weren't for my degree track. I had
Mm-hmm.
no reason to take conducting. They were, it was extra money out of my parents' pocket, to take extra courses that I didn't need to graduate. But
Right.
that's God speaking into my life. And I just listened and I did it. And it made me the perfect candidate for this job.
Right.
So I ended up taking the job because Alabama School of Fine Arts was my alma mater, and I
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
was very honored, to be chosen for that position. So I came back not thinking I would stay that long, but I absolutely fell in love. I got the ed bug, y'all. I got it. It bit
How
me.
long have you been there?
This is my this will be the end of my 22nd year.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. For some place you did
So
not want to go to. 22.
no, I didn't. I know.
Look at
So
it.
I spent 19 years in the music department. 14 of those years, I was the chair of the music department. And in 2019, was it 2019? Man, it seems so long ago.
No.
2019, I applied to be a lead administrator there, and I was hired for the position. So now I'm an administrator at the school, but I still teach flute because I could never give that up.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And I hope
So-
you all heard those key points. She
right.
never wanted to be an educator, but she was taking all these classes. I need to learn about this, need to learn about that. And sometimes we do things to think, okay, I'm just going through this motion. However, God knew that you would get
Mhm.
that call. And the thing about it, y'all, key word, they called her. Kim was
Right.
minding her business going on. So you got to be open to whatever the direction that
That's right.
God leads you, because
Yeah.
it will always lead you to the path, in the place, in the platform
That's right.
that He has you. It prepares you for it too. You
Right.
know, all of us think we're great, but we're all works in progress. To take from one of
That's right.
our people we know, Miss Valencia Pruitt McCarroll, that she talks about, we're all works in progress.
We
So
are.
sometimes we have to take this route to go through some things to get prepared for when we are on that larger platform, so we'll be ready. So you say 22 years later now, right? That's amazing. So now let's talk about what made you decide, I'm ready to try this first album.
Let's take a station break real quick, and,
Okay.
and, and, and let everybody know what you're listening to. You're listening with Conversation is Art, ladies and gentlemen, the Val and Val Show, and we have the lovely, the most talented Kim Scott, the flutist. Welcome once again, Kim, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, this 22 years that Valerie was just referencing, for the young people, I want you all to make sure that if you're listening, and parents, if you're listening and you have young people in your home or that you have influence on, make sure you understand this. Kim identified her craft, she practiced her craft, she perfected her craft, and now she is heading up as
Did Balton just freeze?
He did.
Oh, so Balton, I will pick it up. He was saying now she's heading up. She's running ASPA, we're going to say. She's an administrator making the way for others. So that is simply awesome. So as I was asking,
Thank
what
you.
made you decide it's time for me to do my first album?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, about 2010, I was still just an educator at the Alabama School of Fine Arts. We call it ASPA, so I'm just going to use the acronym now.
Yes.
And you know, teachers are off in the summer months.
Mm-hmm.
And that particular summer, I really wanted to do something that I hadn't done before. I wanted to do something outside the box and innovative. And I noticed, because I listened to a lot of jazz radio, that I wasn't hearing flute on the radio. I'm like, what's up with
Okay.
that? I know there are jazz flutists out there. You know, I'm a fan of Hubert Laws and Bobby Humphrey, but you know, you weren't really hearing them on the radio much. And I'm like, flute needs to be heard. You know, what can I do to to have the flute be a spotlight? You know, what can I do differently to make it stand out? And I knew I was a great improviser, you know, which
Okay.
is not a unique thing for a classical player, but it was just a God-given talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I could use that and the ear training that I'd gotten through my classical studies. I knew I could learn to play by ear, even though I read. So I started to pick up on what are some pop tunes that I can learn by ear and make it sound really cool on a flute that, you know, nobody's going to predict that it's going to be a jazz flute playing Beyonce.
I
You
love
know,
that
so
analogy.
yeah, you know, I mean, it really, and that's what I did. I learned a Beyonce tune and I learned an Erica Badu tune. And I actually made a YouTube video of those songs and I put it out to my friends. I was like, just see what you think. Does it sound weird? Does it sound cool? And people thought, this is really different. You know, I think you're on to something. So I started to do that more. Ended up playing with a good friend of mine out of Atlanta, Monica Hargrave, who's a harpist. And we said, what if we do a flute and harp jazz thing? And we got our first gig, and it went well. We decided we're going to play a bunch of standards together, but we're going to each do a solo. And she said, I'm going to do A Wonderful World. What a Wonderful World. And I said, well, I'm going to do Beyonce. And it was such a huge hit. People were like, I can't believe she's up there dancing with a flute and playing Deja Vu, you know. And that was the beginning of the whole journey. The headliner of the particular show we were doing ended up being Kashmir Williams, who was a guitarist.
Okay.
And he ended up saying, I want her to open for my shows from here on out. And so anyway, I started doing more performances. People started saying, you need music. Can I buy your CD? And I didn't have a CD at that point. So I thought, well, I guess I ought to make a CD. And it's funny. I was so new to it. I didn't know the business yet. I was really green. So I did a whole bunch of cover tunes and one original on my first album. I was like, I'm just going to get my feet wet. I'm good at the covers. Do a little Shaka Khan and do my little Deja Vu, and I did my Erykah Badu. But it went really well. And the first song that I put out from that CD got picked up on radio, and I thought, maybe I'm on to something. So the educator in me was like, well, I can't go into this and not understand it. If I'm going to be in this realm, this new realm, because I had only been a classical orchestral player up to that point, I need to know, how do you make a CD, form a band? How do you get sought out by record labels? How do you learn about publishing and royalties? There was so much. Yeah. I started reading books about the music business. In fact, I got the book, All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald Passman. Read it beginning to end, front to back to front. And I just educated myself and, tried to put myself in good situations that I could grow as an artist. And, now I have 5 albums out. I'm on a record label with several #1 Billboard hits. And I'm like,
awesome.
Wow.
But again, that was all God because, I wasn't trained as a jazz musician. I wasn't trained in improvisation. I didn't go to school for jazz. I didn't have a bunch of people in my network who were doing this. It was really God saying, I've given you these gifts. I want you to identify that you have received these gifts. I want you to develop the work ethic to know how to use these gifts, and then do the work.
Do the work. So I hope y'all hearing that. Do the work. She had to study. She had to prepare. And really, hone her craft. She couldn't go out there missing a bunch of notes and expecting anybody to be bass or album or anything. And then Kim, with that being said, and with your Free to Be 2019, you had something really awesome happen with that album. You want to share that with our guests? What happened with that album?
Yeah. That was my first album to produce a #1 Billboard single in jazz. So the single, it was Free to Be. That actually was that the first one on the album? You know what? Hold on. No, that wasn't the first. It was Emerge. That's right. So yeah, it was Emerge. I wrote that with Jonathan Fritzen, and I just, from the beginning of us writing that song, I had good energy. I was like, this song is going to change some people's lives, because I don't know if you've listened to it, but it even starts with this almost like an awakening sound.
Yeah.
When you get a chance, listen like back to it. It's like this.
I called it like it's a build up of, when evolving is what it is.
It's an evolving sound.
Valerie, is it possible to play that now?
Yeah, we can play that. I'll go get it. Y'all keep talking.
Let's give a little bit of that.
Okay.
But
that.
I don't know if you all heard me before my screen froze about being prepared and practicing and perfecting your craft. Did the audience hear that piece?
You cut off right there.
Okay, but I was saying to the young people and parents that Kim is a professional because she identified, she practiced, and she perfected her craft. And now she sits as an administrator at the school where she got her high school diploma. And it's important, young people, to note that if there's something that interests you, you hone in on it and you pray about it so that you can get where you need to be, not where you want to be, but where you need to be, because somebody can be blessed by your presence. A lot of times, like you said, Kim, you wanted to be playing in the symphony. Okay. But look how many people you're blessing in the space in which you're in right now. We have a lot of listeners from coast to coast, and not only our listeners, but folks that listen to you that is not even in this sphere, that Kenny G and everybody that he's connected to. Now, he's shared your works with other people. You know this, so you have gotten space that the Lord has allowed you in, and you are doing what you are to be doing. And congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Val and Val Conversation is Art with Kim Scott. You gonna play that music for us?
Yeah, I'm getting ready.
Is getting ready?
I'm getting ready.
You still alive? So while Val is pulling that up, you ready that?
That was simply amazing, simply beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, Kim was just listening to the variations of the sounds and everything. It was just kind of like, wow, I could hear so much distinct sounds of the different instruments. And I tried to be a musician, but God didn't have it in my plans. But I was in the choir, and I was also a thespian. I did plays and stuff. So you still have to have an ear for music when you're doing those things. And
This is
what's
true.
great is when you can distinctly blend it together, but still hear every instrument with everything. So I mean
Hmm.
that right there. See, you could use that as what do we call it? These apps now they want you to go to sleep. Just put you on some jazz, y'all.
There you go. Just go right on to the Spotify and click on Kim Scott Radio.
Yeah,
That's all
and
you
that's
need.
it. That's right. And you all, if you notice, I posted everything related to Kim in the chat. I have her website, her contact information. Uh, and I want to bring something else up because your husband, uh, Stefan Strick, aka DJ Strick, um,
Steve
my
Strickland.
under my understanding is he there with you? Because what I'm waiting for, and which I can't believe you have not done, why have you not featured Strick as a soloist on one of your upcoming projects? I don't understand.
Actually, I have. Well, not like solo. It's not singing. Maybe another time, but we did do a song together. Actually, you can hear his voice, and
See,
he's
Valerie being
downstairs. He's
Bessie.
he's working right now.
You can tell
I
Valerie
know.
from
I know.
Bessie.
Oh, I know. You know
Yeah.
But
his
no,
vocal stylings, as he would say.
Yeah.
hey, yeah,
You know,
he
need
he says he doesn't sing because he don't want to outshine anyone else. He just stays in the background. But
the
you all, that's
light would be
that's an
bright.
insider joke with DJ Strick about him singing.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about this because we are going to play Shine, but I'm also going to play I'm Every Woman as well. Let's talk about that now. What led to that? You choosing that particular song?
Well, we do a lot of brainstorming in our house. We throw out a lot of ideas, bounce ideas off of each other, and we wanted to find a song that was empowering. We were just talking about, what are some songs that get people excited?
Mm-hmm.
What is an anthem, and what could be a good women's empowerment something to include on the album. And I didn't really remember this, but as my husband reminded me, he actually mentioned the song one day,
Okay.
and I was, it's one of our favorite songs. But he mentioned the song, and I thought that would be a great idea. And we thought, well, maybe it would be smart to invite two other women to be on the song with you. And then
Okay.
that turned into there are two other African American flutists in the jazz genre that had been doing it much longer than I. Um, Maybe I should invite them and see what they
Okay.
say. So I did that. They were super excited about it. They both agreed to do it. I had already in my mind thought about how that I wanted the song to be mapped out. I wanted it to be charted, and I wanted us to each have solos in our own style, but I wanted us to each have an opportunity to shine and to all have this harmony that's so key to the actual Shaka Khan versions.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a good friend of mine out of Atlanta, Phil Davis, who is a wonderful arranger and writer. Told him my idea, told him what I wanted. He put the recipe together and sent it back to me, and it was exactly what I wanted. So we recorded it, and it was an instant hit. You can't help having we were all three Black women, three flutists in the same business, three different sounds, because people always want to pit us together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who do you like? Well, who's in? Well, we
Yeah.
have three different sounds. None of us have the same stylings. Um, and we each at that point had a number one Billboard
Oh
charting record.
wow.
So I
Wow.
was like, oh, we're about to kill it.
Wow. Three superstars.
And we're about to kill it. And it just, it really stood out. It was just very, very well done. And I was really excited, that I have so many great musicians collectively that play with me. Kelvin Wooten, He's another producer out of Huntsville, Alabama. He actually has produced all but one of my 5 albums because he's just that
Awesome.
amazing and talented. And in fact, he just won his first Grammy
He sure did.
last
He
Wow,
week.
did.
So
great,
Right.
really
great.
Right.
excited about that. So shouts out to him. But this Eric Essex has been on a couple of
Yeah,
records with us, and
Yeah.
Sean Michael Ray and James
Yeah.
PJ Spraggins, and
Right.
yeah,
just really, really talented. But I don't make these records by myself.
Right. Right.
It takes a lot of talent and a lot of vision, a lot of commitment,
Mhm.
and a lot of God to put His spin on it to
Right.
get it in the
Right.
right hands and ears. So
Yeah.
very
And
and
those
excited.
names,
you
those
forgetting
folks.
one thing too. If it take two, Kim,
Yeah.
and let me get on my soapbox real quick. Money, you all. Now I am actually playing this for your pleasure tonight from YouTube. However, however, I need you to go to these streaming platforms and look. Y'all, when I looked on there, Kim on some streaming platforms I didn't even know
You
existed.
heard it.
Okay.
Right. Right.
So just type it Kim Scott download it. You can download it from anywhere. And I'm serious about that, you all. She is giving us a wonderful, wonderful art, but it costs money. And she's not getting to put every dime in her pocket. She has to pay these folks. Now they love her, but they want their coins too.
Yep.
So we need to start supporting people. Download this
Yeah.
music. Many of you,
We've been saying that for the last year. Stop
yeah,
stealing music. Pay for the music you want. You know, and the folks that you mentioned, Eric and Sean Michael, I hit them up earlier and told them that you were coming on. So I see some of them that's linked up with us and they're checking you out right now.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
wait
That's
a
my
minute,
home
Kim.
team.
I gotta
Yep.
put this up there. Look what your best friend said.
You know what? I love him, and I pray for him every day.
He said he
And
the best
he's
singer there is.
in his mind, he is. I told you he says he has vocal styling, so we'll just let him go with that.
Yeah.
Very, very. Well, look, I want them to hear I'm Every Woman, and then we're going to talk a little bit more. Then we'll close out with a live you all performance, not live now, but it's a recorded live performance of her new single Shine, and it is beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
everybody know that this is definitely a woman's anthem right here. If you think of girl empowerment or women empowerment song, I'm Everyone, Woman is it. And I gotta say, I love Shaka's version best, but I also love one that Whitney did, and she brought her in, in toward the end. It was really great. But Shaka just had a certain way to do that squall in there when she was singing it. So
Yeah.
sit back and relax.
Let's get it on.
Miyazawa. Miyazawa. That is beautiful. That is simply beautiful.
That was fire. That was
Beautiful.
fire. That was very, very nice.
And you know I was dancing, Valton. You know I was dancing.
Not only that, we could hear you singing in the background and talking. So
I
when
heard
you
your
go
finger
off,
snaps.
yeah. So when you go offline like that, we can still hear you.
I know it. I started
Okay.
to come back on and dance, but I
Oh,
didn't.
okay. So the next time, Kim, you got to realize you got to bring DJ Strick on if she gonna come on like that, because I think they're in the
A
same
little
boat.
friendly competition. Right.
Oh boy, that's funny. That's funny. So, are you playing anywhere? What's coming up for you next?
Yeah. So now that the new album is out, we're going to be very busy. Next week, I'm at Seabreeze Jazz Festival in Panama City, Florida.
Yeah.
Then I go to Point Clear, and then we are off to Portugal for the Algarve Jazz Festival there. But after that, I've got jazz festivals in Los Angeles. We've got Newport Jazz Beach Festival coming up, Spaghettini's in Seal Beach, California, Connecticut, Virginia.
So when are you at the school? Where you teach the kids virtually?
Well, here's the thing. No, I mean you know part of this business too is being a very good planner, and having a network or a team that helps you stay sane and go, hey, you can't take this day because you don't have a free weekend anymore, but no, you know what, I'm really blessed that the school is excited about what I'm doing and supports what I'm doing. They always have, and anytime I'm able to go out and perform, it's good for them too, because I get to bring all of that experience back to the school, to the students there. I get to talk about the school. So people who may not have known about ASFA get to learn about it from me, and I can be, a spokesperson when I'm away.
Okay.
Yeah, because Kim,
I teach
you
my
had
kids.
something there. What was it you had the debut there?
So the 5th album CD release was
right.
there. They made it a part of their performance series this time. They really wanted to support, the project and allow the students to see, the show if they could come out, and the faculty, and, to put it on a platform that they were building in their artist series. So we did it there, and it was amazing. It was an amazing night.
And you all, I just dropped the direct link from Kim's website that says tour dates, so you can keep up with what's going on. And of course, follow her on Facebook, Instagram. All of that is in our chat system, so you can come back later on. Please like and share this.
Right, please,
so others can watch it. And also join our Conversation is Art. As we said, we expanded this year to include others beyond music, but we're staying true to our hometown folks as well, because Alabama is filled with musical talent beyond measure.
A lot of
talent. I mean, we have a lot. We got this up and coming film producer here, who I'm not gonna call his name now.
I heard it's pretty bad.
And the good thing about it, have an opportunity to use local artists. You don't have to go out
Right.
somewhere else. And Kim, I want
Absolutely.
to say about I'm Every Woman. Hearing those three distinct flutes were just
That was amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
thank you. And
amazing.
you can hear
Right. The
really,
distinction.
Yeah.
you
I
can
was
hear
like,
the distinction. And
wow, wow.
that was the goal. So
Yeah.
everybody can be quiet.
Right.
With the
You
connection.
know,
All
Now,
right, Cam
everybody
Newton.
has their own.
All
now,
right,
Kim,
Cam Newton.
but listen, listen, before we close out and play Shine, talk to these folks about you are a featured what? Pronounce it for us. You are featured
Oh,
Miyazawa what? Flutist?
I'm endorsed by Miyazawa. So I'm a
Miyazawa.
Miyazawa.
Miyazawa performing artist.
Okay.
Miyazawa.
Miyazawa.
So
Miyazawa.
who and what is Miyazawa?
So Miyazawa is a Japanese flute company. They only make flutes. That's their specialization.
Okay.
Wow.
And they have some of the most amazing, expensive, but beautiful sounding instruments that you will ever play.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm honored
Yeah.
to play on a Miyazawa. They reached out to me and invited me. They've been watching me for a while, apparently. Invited me to be one of their performing artists, and I couldn't say no. And I'm
That's
so
beautiful.
happy that I did.
Well, hopefully
Congratulations.
Very,
they
very
earn you some
supportive.
flutes in the
Thank you.
process.
My new flute is a Miyazawa.
Yeah.
Great, great.
Yeah.
That
That's
is
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
That
You
is
know,
great.
that's the bomb. I mean, that is
That
something
is.
serious. When somebody across the pond is touched with the finger that God touches them with to tap
Yeah.
into you, that's amazing. You got an amazing God, girl.
He
You know,
is that.
hey, y'all need to stand in the overflow because she's got it going. Oh, you know, can you imagine how the lady tested him on the garment? She was like standing in the overflow. Just let me test him on the garment. I don't even have to touch his shoulder, Jesus. Just let me touch what you got on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Man. Woo,
It makes
child.
a difference.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Don't get me to preaching on here.
Well, you are too late.
It's too
Too
late.
late.
Too
Yeah,
late.
yeah.
You've already done it. You've already done it. So look, Kim, before we play Shine, we want you to give you the opportunity to give some closing words to the audience, and share with them something that if they want to pursue a career in performing arts, no matter what the instrument or whatever it is, what is the two things that you would tell them that are a must for them to be successful?
Mhm. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. It's been a
Yeah,
pleasure.
sure.
I'm
You
glad you
enjoy it.
guys are doing this, and I want to continue to encourage your audiences to support the arts, support
Thank you.
music, support film,
Mhm.
support creative writing. Two things I would say the two things I would share are the things that have helped me the most in my career, and it's things that my husband and I are devoted to, is what we talk to our children about. Um, and it's not being afraid to take risks and strive for the goal that you are most passionate about. um, the other thing is, do your homework.
Right.
Do your homework. You can have all the passion and talent in the world to
Yeah.
do a particular thing. But if you have not educated yourself about that particular thing, about the business of how to be
Mm-hmm.
successful in it, if you haven't done the homework to read the books or watch people who are doing what you want to do to see what they're doing, you know, um, surround yourself with people who are doing great things, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some of the highlights, because I think people get stuck in thinking that just having the talent, they'll
Yeah.
make it,
Right.
and
Yeah,
it's
it
not
takes more
enough.
than talent.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mhm.
a
Right.
lot of talent that people sitting at home unemployed or doing something else because
Right.
they didn't
Right.
do the homework.
Yeah, you got to do your homework and do the work. You can't be
Gotta think.
afraid, and
Yep.
success is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
People think it looks good and it looks glamorous, but successful people are the hardest working people
Right.
out there, because they know you can't stop trying
Right.
to be great and to grow in what you're doing. You can't
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
afraid to make the moves. You can't be
Right.
afraid to put yourself on a in a position or in a platform that you may have never been on before, because you can't be afraid. You
Right.
can't live in fear. And as Christians, we are already told that we should not have a spirit of fear.
Right.
So
Right.
if we have that directive, get it done.
Yes.
Get out
You know,
there, you know.
Get it done.
and one of the things that I've had to learn, and it didn't come overnight, don't listen to everybody,
True.
because
That's
folk
good.
will put stuff in your spirit that is not of God.
You know, you said that and it spoke to me. Let me tell you something. When I was in middle school, and this was after I knew I wanted to be a flutist, I was told by a music teacher, I won't share any names, that I could never make a living playing flute. And, you know, my lips were too big to play the flute. You know, you can't
Wow.
make money playing the flute.
Wow.
Why
Well,
don't you send her a check for $1?
no, send those 5 album covers. How about
Right.
that?
Listen,
Right.
I ran a couple of years ago, and I think it was after maybe I had released the 3rd album, and they knew about it. And I could tell they remembered. And I could tell they had their own moment of
Oh,
revelation, because, yeah, they had to, yeah.
Wow.
look, reckoning like, listen, baby, listen, these big lips get some chin-ching. Chin-ching.
They were very encouraging when I saw them again.
You
Yeah.
know, people sometimes people just do stuff out of ignorance, not knowing. Like, and you know, life and death is in the power of the tongue. You know, and even if you, let's just say hypothetically, that wasn't going to end up being your gifting. But when I tell people, what does it hurt to support someone starting out? You never know. You know, God will give you desires of your heart if you're willing to practice. Sometimes, look, a lot of people that are doing great things and a talent, not that they were the best at it or the most talented. They were, as you said, Kim, they did the homework and they were up late at night when everybody else was asleep. So that's it. Well,
Wow.
look, I really enjoyed this
Absolutely.
thoroughly.
Thank you
Me
so
too.
much.
Thank you.
Most
Thank you
Pleasure meeting
guys.
you. A pleasure
Yeah, so
meeting
you
you.
had folks,
Same
they say
here.
they downloading the music. And like I said, you all, YouTube is an extra. Go to these
Right.
platforms
Yeah.
and pay your money. So look,
And
we're
you
going
all
to close.
Right. And let me say this before we close. Please be careful as you all travel to Seabreeze and Portugal and all these other places. We're praying for you and lifting you up.
Thank
If
For
you need
sure.
Thank
anything
you
while
so
you all
much.
are away, please we're just a phone call away.
For sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So we're going to close out with Kim's live performance of Shine.
And Kim, hang on the line after this goes off. We get offline, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
right then. Now, who was on the guitar back there?
That was Eric Essex on
Sounds
guitar,
like
and
Eric.
Sean was on
Sounds
the
like
bass. Yeah.
sounds like Eric's music back there. Yeah, Eric and I grew up
Mm-hmm.
together.
Ah,
As
yeah,
did
he's
Sean and I.
great.
We were in high school together. Those some
Awesome.
bad
Yeah,
boys.
those
Some
my boys.
bad
Yep,
boys.
they
Yeah, yeah,
are.
yeah. So we have enjoyed ourselves tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with the lovely and most talented Kim Scott, who's married to one of my boys, DJ Strick, is also in the house. So we have had a great time with
For
Conversation is
sure.
Art, the Val and Val show. So tune in next week as we will have who, Valerie?
We will have Dr. Jamel Coleman, who's actually listening. Kim, and he's already went and started downloading your stuff. So
Good deal. What's up,
Thank you
Demel?
so much.
We
yeah,
look forward to
so
seeing you next week, boy.
yeah, we will be continuing our mental health series, which we added
Yeah.
monthly. And next week we'll be finding light in the darkness of depression. And I'm
Great.
sure Demel will be plugging some of your music to help those that are
Yeah.
feeling
No
depressed.
doubt.
So
No doubt.
Yeah.
it's been
Okay.
awesome.
Awesome.
We thank you all
Absolutely.
for joining us tonight. And we look
Yeah.
forward to next week and making sure. Oh, let me put this up for you to see this, Kim. This is my sister down in South Alabama.
Oh, thank
That
you
was the
so much. I'm
last
glad
one.
she loves it.
And
Yeah.
this is my best friend right here from Atlanta. And she said, you can tell your music come from the soul. Come from the
That's
Nice.
awesome.
soul. For
I'm glad
sure.
that's conveyed for sure. Thank you.
Yeah. 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 Good stuff. Well, we're
Any
gonna end
last
the
words,
show.
Valter?
No, just have a great Easter, everyone, and remember, it's not about some chocolate bunny with some gold eggs or whatever y'all got going on. But Jesus really is the reason for the season.
For
In this
real.
we know, and we are thankful, oh Lord, that you died and rose again, so this opportunity may be possible to us. We give you all the praise and the honor and the glory. So good night,
Amen.
everybody.
Amen.
Take good care. And Kim, hold the line, please.